It's me again, your favorite politically incorrect webcam video maker. Today, I'm sensing I've been watching the news lately. Apparently my message isn't getting out that we're making a run by idiots. So, I'm gonna go even simpler. I'm gonna explain it with my pal Smokey. Say hi, Smokey. What do you think? Are we in trouble? Is our country in trouble? See? Even Smokey agrees with me. And now, let's start the video. No scratching there. No, Smokey. Anyways, while Smokey goes and scratches himself, I have the liberty of explaining to you why we're in trouble. It's been obvious that our president and our current administration doesn't care beans about us. They're only interested in letting in people that they know will vote for them. Then they will overrun us, and therefore win probably every election on this side of the planet of the country, and we'll just be white noise. And another thing that I always find hilarious is how they underestimate our intelligence. He'll call anybody that agrees with him a genius and anybody that disagrees with him an idiot. It's either that or pulls the race card, which has nothing to do with our opinions. I just hate that! Golly! Can't this guy get through his arrogant skull that we're his people? He cannot just ignore us and decide when we're shucks. Okay? I have found some photos that just might help you understand why we need to band together and stop them. Okay? Now we're going to start at the bottom of the list because this particular section of pictures is from a site called Liberal Logic. It explains the logic behind the liberal lunkheads.
Dinner.
Are you ready? Down a minute. Sorry, I'm doing it from my room, so there will be interruptions. Now, you see this little problem? State insurance commissioners still have the power to decide what plans can and can't be sold in their states. That was 2013. In other words, the only way your crummy law can be fixed is by telling people to break it. But you absolutely won't consider the only real solution, which is to repeal the stupid thing. See what I mean? That's part of the liberal logic. This section will explain to you why it's not the way to go. And that's one reason that's going to ruin our country. That is pretty much, yeah. There's nothing they say is logic based. I'll guarantee that. Now look at this. This should be the way they would like their elections to go. To avoid intimidating black voters, all poll voters will wear Obama campaign stuff. Armed Black Panthers will glare at white workers, and all Democrats will be given no less than 5 ballots each. 5 ballots for one guy equals voter fraud, so either way it ends in voter fraud, voter intimidation, and forced propaganda. Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun. That's the way the elections would be in a liberal-run country. Look at this. I remember this. Now, this boils my blood like most things that they do. Cop killer should be the cop killer versus the unborn baby. Cop killer, they think he should be kept alive at the taxpayer's expense. Yeah, and an unborn baby should be killed at taxpayer's expense. Who's gonna do more damage, the cop killer or the baby? They don't know the difference. And they'll never care about the difference, to be honest. Now, in their opinion, terrorists have civil rights and Christians, nothing. They're gonna kick us aside. It'd be like World War II in Germany if they had their way. Now, this is the interpretation. According to the liberal interpretation of the United States Constitution, which is they're totally wrong as usual, the government has no business trying to control what goes on in my bedroom. However, the government has an obligation to control what goes on in your church. Yeah, pretty soon they will think they can dictate what goes on in your bedroom. Pretty soon they'd probably start dictating that I couldn't sleep with my light off because I'm not a little baby anymore. I hate to tell you this, but I'm an incredible weenie. So that wouldn't exactly benefit me. Now, liberal logic. Now, this is profanity on television versus wearing a cross. Profanity in television is perfectly alright, because that's how some people talk. It sure ain't the way they're supposed to. Wearing a cross should be prohibited because someone might get offended. Oh, and who's going to get offended? Not me. I know tons of people who wear stuff like that, but they don't wear them visibly because they know some idiot's going to complain about it. Now, this is teenagers and teenagers. This is our version versus a conservative version versus a non-conservative version. Now their idea is teenagers are too young and impressionable to be exposed to things like guns in the Bible. I was exposed to both. Can I read the Bible cover to cover? Heck no, I'd need an extensive background in that to do that. But I do know about guns. I was raised around them and I haven't met one and one hasn't hurt me yet. I'm actually a registered gun owner, and my gun has never turned on me. You know why? Because it can't unless somebody pulls the darn trigger. Now, and this is their idea, what they are mature enough to do. They think teenagers are mature enough to be told about every conceivable sex practice and then given condoms, meaning they will condone it. I hate that idea. Now, how Israel protects school children versus how we do, thanks to those idiots that think gun-free zones are good. Now, Israel has shooting deaths in the past 10 years. For Israel, 8. Okay, and guess what? They're carrying, and the picture is a teacher carrying a gun. Now, how America protects school children. They have the gun-free zones. School shooting deaths in the past 10 years. 323. I would rather have the 8 than 323. One has the gun-free zones and one doesn't. Guess which ones? It ain't hard. Now, this is a perfect example of a liberal moron. Let me get my glasses so I can't see the darn thing and I don't want to put them. Sorry about the delay. Oh, I put Smokey on top of them. Now, look at this. This is a guy that defends the liberals a lot of ways. Now, number one. This is really what they're missing about the Sandy Hook shooting. Adam Lanza shot his mother, then stole 3 of her guns, then stole her truck, then illegally transported 3 weapons, then carried those guns to the school without a carry permit, then broke into the school, brought those guns onto the school property, then shot 26 more people. In total, he broke 41 laws. Yet, while the victims still lay in pools of their own blood, this moron went on Jay Leno and argued that there had been more laws. This tragedy would have been averted. I hate to tell you this, if you just leave our guns alone, we could keep numbskulls like we could keep sickos off the streets. If you just learn that it's not the answer. Now, President Obama wants to ban guns. Would it not be fair to ask him to lead by example and first disarm his Secret Service bodyguards? Well, if he did that, I don't think he'd like what would happen. So there you go. Teachers versus the TSA. Teachers are not allowed to hug a student lest they be perceived as sexual. I got hugged by tons of my teachers, and it's more of a moral support thing. And the TSA, they must grope your child in the interest of national security. So rubber gloves are okay, basically, to respect every body part of your child. But a teacher's not allowed to hug because it might be sexual. It might be in some cases, but it's really not always meant to be. Now, this is a liberal hypocrite from NBC. He mocks the NRA for proposing armed guards at public school. And you know what he does? He sends his own kids to a posh, private, exclusive school protected by armed guards. So basically, what's good enough for his kids ain't good enough for the NRA members' kids. Now, Republicans want lower taxes and to cut spending. Democrats want higher taxes and more spending. Therefore, Republicans are responsible for tax hikes. The same as firemen are responsible for your house burning down after you invite a pyromaniac to spend the night and give him a box of matches. Yeah, we're not responsible for that. Now, the religious right and the anti-religious left. Religious right opposes abortion, same-sex marriage, and being forced to pay for other people's contraceptions. Anti-religious left. They want taxpayer-funded abortions, contraceptives, and to force businesses to participate in same-sex marriage ceremonies. Forcing, the religious right is not forcing their morality on us. The anti-religious left is apparently not forcing morality on anybody, and the religious right is. Police, that's a big lie. Problem. And there's a problem. Illegal immigration. The solution: turn criminals into ordinary citizens. That's not going to do anything. That's going to make it worse. Problems: school shooting. Solution: turn ordinary citizens into criminals. That's their This is explaining the logic of the liberal. And trust me, actually, most of these are my opinions too, to be honest. Burning the U.S. flag versus displaying the Confederate flag. Burning the American flag is acceptable because it's just a swatch of cloth and doesn't mean anything. And displaying the Confederate flag is unacceptable because it's a symbol of hatred. You see a difference here? I'll be right back. Now just look at that picture and let me know what you think. When I'm doing a video, I'll be down in a minute. Now I'm doing it from my house and the pizza's here. Sorry about that. Now, liberal logics. Now, the Holy Bible is banned in government schools and encouraged in government prisons, illustrating how to close the barn door after the horses have all run out. Maybe if you encouraged it in government schools, it wouldn't need to be in government prisons because nobody would be in the government prisons. Gun shows versus schools. Gun shows. Number of mass shootings in the past 20 years. 0. The percentage armed, 95. Schools. The number of mass shootings in the past 20 years. 387. Percent armed, 0. The chances of a location being the site of a mass shooting is inversely proportional to the percentage of people in that location being armed. Conclusion: to make more locations safe, there should be fewer guns. Baloney! They know that's not the answer. They just don't get it. I'm serious. You're probably thinking, God, are these guys thick? Yes, they are. And they're sick. Now here's their assault rifles. Scary assault rifle for them is a scary looking rifle that does the exact same thing as less scary looking rifles, but it just looks scarier while doing it. Because when a crazed gunman is trying to kill you, and the government has left you unarmed, the last thing you need is for his gun to be scary looking. Yeah, I'm not looking at how scary it's looking. I'm looking at he's got one, I don't. I'm in trouble. Now, a gun versus a president. The gun requires a background check through multiple government databases. Now, the president is no background check required for criminal tendencies. But, which one's more dangerous? Well, right now I know which one's more dangerous. The one on the right is more dangerous. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get called a racist for it. But, I don't really care. Now, liberal logic. Homeschooling versus gun ownership. Homeschooling requires a serious commitment, not for everybody, arms you, in an effort to do for yourself what the government taxes you to do, allows you a measure of independence, not available without it. Now, a gun ownership requires a serious commitment, not for everyone, arms you, in an effort to do for yourself what the government taxes you to do, and allows you a measure of independence, not available without it. Is it any wonder why liberals hate that so much? Yeah, not really, because they're control freaks. They want to control every aspect of us. Abortion versus Obamacare. Abortion, because your right to make your own medical choices is absolute and cannot be denied. Now, Obamacare, because the government needs to make medical choices for you even if you don't want them to. That sounds like a little bit of unnecessary force, don't it? Now, October 22nd, 2012 versus January 16th, 2013. Now what Obama says here, 2012. Bayonets are archaic and seldom used. And then in 2013, he changes his tune. Bayonet mounts make guns dangerous enough to ban. Ignorance and indecision are two things Democrats firmly believe are important enough to override both the Constitution and national security. That's true, they took away the Navy's missiles, and they didn't like that too much. Now, this is your typical liberal. Thinks separation of church and state is the most important phrase in the U.S. Constitution. Meaning, yeah, they want to separate both of them, and then they want to destroy one and not the other. Now, are you more afraid, if you are more afraid of this, the gun, than you are of the president, then you are part of the problem. That's their idea. Now, the person has a gun, it protects people. The bottom part is our president, and he's got a pen. And in parentheses, it says, this kills people. It's true, with a drop of, with just the movement of a pen, he could kill us all. Now, liberal logic states, taking other people's hard-earned money and giving it to those who won't work is compassionate. That's also known as socialism. And expecting people to work for a living, regardless of race, also known as capitalism, is mean-spirited, racist, and bigoted in their opinion. You're sensing a problem here? Now, any man who sends women into combat when he stays safe at home, safe and protected, and well, this guy is Leon Panetta, former Secretary of Defense and monumental wimp. He's even a better wimp than me, and he's obviously missing something important. Yeah, balls. You need them. Oh boy, and missing his guts too. That's another thing he's missing. Affirmative action, a system in which blacks are treated differently than whites because blacks have suffered in the past by being treated differently than whites. And that's based on the logical assumption that more gasoline will certainly put out the fire. Nuh-uh. Sorry. Now, trees versus unborn babies. Trees have souls, but unborn babies are just blobs of tissue. No, they're not. It's been proven that after a certain point, at 5 weeks, their fingers and their feet and face start to develop. I wouldn't call that a blob of tissue. Typical liberal they will probably not get this. If I accuse you of judging, that doesn't mean I'm judging you. If I deride you and call you names, that doesn't mean I'm being hateful. If I refuse to listen to anything you say, that doesn't mean I'm being close-minded, because that would be hypocritical, and I am definitely not hypocritical. There are just different rules for me than for you. That is typical. That's typical behavior for them. Now, even little kids understand this. If too many people enjoy the free ride and not enough people help pull the wagon, it's not going anywhere. Now, why can't they figure that out? And we'll let their tiny brains figure that one out. What liberals think conservatives eat for breakfast? Wrong, of course. Because the coffee's not black, the gun should be angled out for quicker grasp. Only wusses eat eggs sunny side up, and there's not nearly enough bacon. Yeah, no. I wouldn't exactly believe that. Oh, I don't eat with my gun next to my breakfast, and I eat 2 bowls of cereal and go right into lunch. Now, capitalism is when capitalists can't sell you a product, they'll work to make it better. When socialists can't sell you a product, they say you have to buy it, it's the law. Yeah, I'm sensing a common theme here. Force. A liberal is someone who demands everyone thinks like them. A conservative is someone who just wants everyone to think. So we're gonna try. I've been thinking for years, and that's something that they'll probably try to get me to stop doing. And now, if the government imposes a $5 expense on the production of a $2 widget, then it's not the manufacturer or the retailer's fault that the price of the widget goes up. It's the government's fault. If the government forces insurance companies to pay for additional coverage, then it's not the insurance company's fault that insurance premiums go up. It's the government's fault. And liberals, please find a 5-year-old child to explain this to you. Okay? Now you sense the problem here? There we go, I got it. And now, to bring back my pal Smokey to wrap it up for you. Come on, Smokey. Now look. What do you think, Smokey? Is liberal logic wacko or what? Oh yeah, they're insane. They don't know what they're doing. They're ruining the country. I bet you said we're going to have socialist squirrels. You're probably right, Smokey. Don't worry. If we get enough people to wake up, there will never be a socialist squirrel. We have something better. We have socialist stool pigeons. Okay, you get it? And those are the guys in Washington, D.C. The yes men for this guy are what we call stool pigeons. They'll do whatever he says regardless, and then if they don't, he bullies them. That's called a stool pigeon. Or a stooge. So, you see, once we understand their logic, we can help we can disperse the stool pigeons. Okay? Okay! And thanks for listening, and hopefully this really sheds some light on the logic. Well, I'll see you guys later. Probably in my next video, and I'm hoping this one's gonna be not as informative. Because hopefully I won't have to explain this again. Bye!